What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? My name is James Lauriello, the host of the Steep Stuff podcast. I'm joined here by Jonathan Levitt, the host of the Long Run podcast. And we're here to provide you guys a little live commentary and, talk about the race, about both the men's and women's race.
Thanks for being out here. It's a beautiful day, and we'll get some updates going here as quickly as we can. Oh, we got two people watching on the internet.
Do we? We got two?
Yep.
Probably my family. Right, you're welcome. Dude, if you want to hang out.
Yeah, we got 3 seats.
Yeah, you're welcome. We got 3 seats.
Not qualified.
Dude, you're one of the best in the game.
Thank you.
Actually, to provide commentary, you're
It was fun doing it.
I have to be honest with you, you were probably the best I've had on for a
There's 600 people watching?
Wow, look at that. We have 7 million people. Incredible stuff. This is wild.
Alright, you got one mic.
Have fun.
Myself.
Where's Ace?
Alright, you got yours, I got mine, let's do this.
We said we were gonna. What's on? You hear me? We said we were gonna do stand up, and now we're sitting. Neither of us are funny, so let's go.
Check, check, check. Wait, do we want to do stand up or sit down?
No, we'll sit down. We're not funny.
Jonathan, how's your day going, man?
It's good. It started with a beautiful sunrise over the mountains, and you can't complain. We're in Colorado.
Yeah, no complaints here. Beautiful morning, absolutely perfect day for the Pike's Peak Ascent.
We've got coffee and pancakes happening over that way if you haven't indulged yet. If you're watching on YouTube, hopefully you have coffee and pancakes going at your home as well.
Before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife in the audience, Rose. Thanks for joining us.
A couple of good dogs over there too.
Yeah, that's my dogs, Robbie and Luna. Yeah.
Okay, so James, you've got a ton of notes here on this note.
I have so many notes. All right, so those of you hanging out at this race, we're here for obviously for the Pike's Peak Ascent. For those of you unaware of the distance, 13.32 miles with almost 8,000 feet of elevation gain, about 2,382 meters. Right now, our race leaders are absolutely doing battle at the front of the race. I'm waiting for my phone to, there it goes, to give me some updates, and we've got the updates as of following. None other than one of the greatest of all time, the GOAT himself, Mr. Joseph Gray, is actually leading the race. He just checked in through Bottomless Pit. That distance is about 8.7 miles, and he clocked a gun time of about 1:15.16 into this race. So Joe is definitely on pace, so for probably somewhere, I would say 2 hours and 7 minutes to that 2 hours and 13-minute range for a finish.
We need an official prediction. What is the official prediction?
Oh man, where's Brian Whitfield at? He's very good at giving these predictions. I would say the winner is going to finish, I'd say 2 hours, 7 minutes for the men.
Allie Mack, is she leading still?
Allie Mack is, let's see what we got here. Let's do a refresh. Allie Mack was in first. The women's race is actually really tight. This is really fun to follow along. Allie Mack just clocked, she is in the lead right now at Summit, which is 6 miles in just before bar camp. Right at about that hour mark, she has about a 2-minute lead on it looks like Halfman Hall. Hallie Halfman. 2 minute lead on Hallie.
First name's over here,
Yep.
last name's over there.
Followed by Misha Miller, followed by Anna Mae Flynn. It looks like Anna Mae Flynn, Misha Miller, and Hallie Halfman are all kind of bunched up, running in a group. Hallie's got about, it looks like a 7-minute split on the top of the field.
For those who don't know Anna Mae Flynn, she is a crusher.
Absolutely. One of the best in the world.
She hasn't been racing in a couple of years, and it's awesome to see her healthy and going up the hill again.
Yeah, no, it's sorry. It's absolutely amazing to see her back in this race. She's had some top 10 finishes at the Pike's Peak, or she had second place at the Pike's Peak Ascent in 2017. She's also had top 10 finishes at Broken Arrow, notably second place in the Broken Arrow VK. Like I said, arguably one of the best uphill female athletes in the country and the world.
And speaking of Broken Arrow, Allie Mack is a crusher uphill and downhill. I ran Broken Arrow last year, and it was a snow year, and then we had the live cam on Allie coming downhill, and that was one of the most impressive feats of running I've ever seen. Only because we couldn't see the cameraman that was also running just a few steps ahead, even more precarious situation.
Oh wow! I actually think we were there for that year as well. Watch her finish and watch. I think Harley was with her at the finish line.
Oh yeah, Harley is her dog who just runs across the finish line with her.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It's so
Is
cool.
Harley here today?
Harley is here. We did have a sighting. I think Allie's boyfriend Harley and his dog were actually here at the start line.
Amazing. We'll have to get Harley on the live cam over here.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. As more and more people start to trickle in, I think we'll see if we can call them out. We also, in the front of the race, on the men's side, Cam Smith is up there. Do we give a shout out to Cam's fiance hanging out in the front? Woo! On the men's side of the race, do want to talk about that. There's some things starting to heat up on the men's side of the race. Just behind Joseph Gray was Mika Bodin Rosio, who also crossed bottomless pit, running about 8:45 pace. 1 hour, 16 minutes on time, so just about a minute behind Joe. In third place is none other than Seth James Demore, right behind him. So it's a very tight men's race up in front at bottomless pit. And there's kind of a chase pack as well. Cam Smith, Joshua Ernst, and Kieran May, and Joe Demore right behind all of them. So the men's field's pretty bunched up. It's gonna be a very tight finish.
Talk about the weather. We're supposed to get 21 inches of snow up there tonight. Everybody hear that?
I've heard anywhere from 6 inches to 21 inches. It's bananas. I mean, either way, it makes for a very interesting dynamic at the front of the race. Especially for the marathon tomorrow, it's gonna get wild.
The gear that you need to run up into snow like that and then run back down.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, these guys are gonna need coats. I've heard people talk spikes up in the front. I've heard all kinds of interesting theories. I mean, you're going to need a shoe with deep lugs, no doubt. It's going to be interesting.
So what you need to do?
Deep lugs, we love it.
Deep lugs, yeah. You've never run the Pike Peak Marathon, is that another? Have I actually?
I've never been above the top of the incline.
Really?
So
When was the last time you did the incline?
I did the incline in 2018
Okay.
with Zach Miller.
Oh,
Shout out to North Face over there.
yeah.
And I was about halfway up and he had finished and came back and jogged the rest of it.
Zach is a beast. He's a monster.
It was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. He just absolutely took off.
I'll tell you a funny story with Zach Miller. The first time I ever met him actually was Pike's Peak Ascent 2022. I had jogged up. There's a road back here, like a beautiful dirt ski road area called Longs Ranch Road, and I jogged up there. And I thought it was all cool following Zach Miller. And he kind of turned around and started doing this descent, and I thought I was going to hang with him on the descent, and very notably fell and face planted on the trail.
You did or he did?
I did,
Okay.
right behind him, and he looked at me. He was like, "You okay, buddy?" So that's a great first time getting to meet Zach.
That's awesome. Or maybe not, but so Zach Miller is the inertia behind my podcast, which is called For the Long Run. I ran I ran the incline with him, and then we went to dinner somewhere in town. First of all, he put on a clinic of eating. It was the most impressive meal I'd ever seen. He ate his entire bowl, which was like one of the biggest taco bowls I've ever seen, and then he ate half of mine. And all of my tortillas. And so anyone who's ever shared a meal with Zach knows exactly what I'm talking about there. But he was running like 150 miles a week at the time, and I was like, why are you doing this? What is so exciting about this? Like, I was just really getting into trailing at that time. And he put his fork down, which again is a notable feat if you've ever timed with Zach, and talked for 10 minutes. And I was like, cool, I've got something here, this is fascinating. And for him, it was just all about how good can we be? And so I think on something like this, if you're Joe Gray leading it, if you're in the back of the pack, or anywhere in between, it's a fun way to challenge yourself and see what you can be capable of, and then take out learning and apply it to other pieces of life and just be better in a way.
Zach is an interesting character, man. I have to be honest with you. Like I think he would admit this as well. I mean, he's world class. He's not a Jim Walmsley, but the single hardest worker I think I've ever come across in the sport.
And the noises that he makes while being the hardest worker, it's impressive. He's gonna pop up here somewhere.
So fun story.
Stop talking about me.
And I was gonna say one more fun story about Zach that I thought was interesting. I know you're friends with Hayden Hawks as well. I don't know if Hayden ever told the story about when Zach and Hayden were racing each other at the North Face 50.
I was on course right next to them.
Did Hayden tell the story about how Hayden was running right behind Zach, and he started getting wet? Like he was like, "Is it raining?" And it was Zach peeing himself when he was running. Pretty wild.
I hadn't heard that story, but they were running the 50 miler at North Face 2016 out in Marin, and I was doing the marathon relay, so I was doing 10K leg, and they were doing 50K, and we overlapped at their mile 48 and mile 5. And they absolutely blew my doors up. It was one of the most impressive things I'd ever seen. We were running whatever it was. They were running sub 6 at the end of that, and the noise is coming out of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, pretty just two world class athletes. Yeah, absolutely insane.
Yeah, Hayden having a great year this year, putting himself in contention for Ultra Runner of the Year.
I would say, I would even make the argument probably, unless Jim pulls something out of his hat at the end of the year, Hayden is it. Yeah, without a doubt. Black Canyon win. Took the win at a smaller UTMB race, and then goes, third in the Western States and first at CCC. It was crazy.
The CCC performance was awesome. Black Canyon was great. So I saw Hayden at the end of Western States last year when he DNF'd, and it speaks about his character. He was out at the finish line that night after he DNF'd, and he was right back out there the next morning cheering people in and hobbling around doing so. Then he had the knee surgery, and his doctor is an ultra runner. Oh, wow. And so he saw this doctor in Utah, and the doctor was like, "Man, you've been doing this on a stress fracture for the last few years. Like, you're gonna be so much better and enjoy this so much more when I clean this up." And so Hayden was stoked, just knowing that better times were ahead without all that pain. And to hear from an ultra running surgeon was pretty validating.
It's really crazy with him because, I felt like the rest of the sport was always trying to play, especially on the American side, the rest of the sport was trying to just catch up with Jim for so many years. And now you're starting to see things change, like shoe technology with fueling technology, how far things have progressed. And really, the arms race with everybody is really caught up in a lot of ways.
Totally.
Yeah. And you can clearly tell with that. Hayden is now arguably, he's, I wouldn't just say world class, he's one of the best in the world.
Totally. And again, the North Face logo is staring us in the face over there, so we'd have to talk about Katie Schide. What a performance she's had this year, too.
Yeah, no doubt at all. Dude, yeah, there's not too many words to explain. She's just reached a whole other level.
I want to see her and Courtney in the same race again.
I think it's time. I think that maybe Western States in 2022 was the last time they saw each other, probably.
Yep.
I'd like to see it on a mountain course, something like a UTMB, or maybe, I know KD was pretty vocal about trying to get into Hard Rock again this year, or trying to get Hard Rock for the first time this year. So with that, we might actually see it.
The two of them are fascinating. They both have this like quiet, calm confidence. I had dinner with Katie 2 nights before Western States last year, and like you would think that she was going for a golden hour finish with how relaxed she was. It was impressive, and there's probably something to be learned from that.
Yeah, just like I said, she has just achieved this like rare air level. It's like you don't see that in a lot of athletes. I mean, I think we saw the first time with Courtney, and then now with Katie kind of following.
Courtney is pretty similar. Like I've done a podcast with her, and everyone who does a podcast with her tries to find her demons, but she doesn't have demons. She just really likes running and really likes gummy candies and putting the two together.
Yeah, so not to change the subject, but I got a sighting of Mason Kobe in the audience. Want to give a big shout out to Mason. He was on the podcast. Now, Mason, swap athlete, just raced himself last week at the Headlands 27K, the Golden Trail World Series race. Took 11th place, which is one of the deepest fields ever assembled on American soil. So big shout out to Mason. Yeah, guys let's give a round of applause for Mason.
We got 1 million viewers on YouTube who just learned about Mason as well. Check
There you
that
go.
out.
Yeah. Well, the world is starting to learn about it now. Absolutely. Is your I think we need to turn your mic up a little bit, right?
Can you hear me now? Commercial break is brought to you by.
They can do it on site. Just ask them. Cool.
Testing? Yep. Sweet. Yep, that perfect. Thank you so much. I was just saying, for the first time in my life, I was told I was too quiet.
You should be a Canadian.
I'll sit down.
All right, so just want to give some update on some splits. The last split was still from Joseph Graham, the men's side from Bottomless Pit. It's about 8.7 miles into the race. And he is sitting in first with about a minute lead.
Just checking. Can you hear us on this? Can somebody who's watching give a thumbs up if you can hear us?
A&B Bank is a proud sponsor of Ascent and Marathon.
Do you want to open your phone real quick to make sure that the audio is on? Because the mic icon had a slash through it. So
fulfill each customer's financial needs to tailor fit solutions for each stage of their life. Whether it's for personal or business, we are always here to help. Stop by one of our banking centers today. A&B Bank. We would be proud to be your bank. ANBbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
we're good. They're gonna run a bar coffee.
So they gave me this. I can't see where Joe's 11 miles into the race. We've got 2 miles to go. But I can't see where he's at. So I guess I can just try to go.
Fun fact about this race, thanks to Hydro Pack, this race is cupless, so we're not putting a ton of cups into landfills, thanks to having the refillable cups that everybody gets. So thank you Hydro Pack for that.
Just to give you guys an update on what's going on the men's side of the race. The first 2 men, Joseph Gray and Miki Bowden-Rosio, are past A-frame. Joe just passed A-frame in about an hour 33. Followed by, he's got about 3 minutes up on Miki Bowden-Rosio. About a little bit more than 3 and change. So, I mean, this is a fast race. Joe's projected split, it says 2:01:36. I would imagine we're going to see something maybe a little bit closer to like 2:07, 2:08. But definitely going to be a fast year. Joe ran, fun fact, in 2016, he ran his fastest ascent in 2 hours, 5 minutes, and some change.
That's fast.
So fast. Not quite. Actually, for the weather, that's a great time. I mean,
it is about as good as it gets.
Yeah. And we're still waiting for the third now. Seth James DeMore to come through A-frame. He's a little further back.
So Joe is running at roughly a 9-minute pace. Again, that's like more than 500 feet per mile uphill consistently at a 9-minute pace. Up to high altitude.
So it looks like we have Seth DeMore through A-frame as well, about a minute back off Miki Bowden-Rosio.
Fourth place runner does not have a name. This is a pretty sweet visualization though. Brooksy is changing the game when it comes to course tracking. Stay tuned, you'll see it more. This is actually a beautiful visualization.
Yeah, and it looks like on the updates on the women's side, Allie Mack, we're still waiting to get her group almost pit. Fell on Allie Hoffman. Oh, thank you.
Look at this, we have a coffee delivery from Mountain Brews. I told them I'd wait to give them a shout out until we tasted it, but that's good service.
So Allie Mack has about a 10-minute lead on third place, NMH Flynn, who just got through at 1:41:01, followed by Kristen Johnson, who is just seconds behind seconds behind NMA at 1:41:32.
Updates over here on the coffees. Coffees are fantastic. Highly recommend. Cheers.
Oh, that's delicious. Thank you.
Look at this tiny little cup. It's a cortado.
Never had cortado.
Cortados are great.
It's very Italian.
It is very Italian. I used to be part of a running group in Boston called Cortado Club. We'd go for a run and then everybody would get a cortado and a burrito. It's great.
In a burrito. That's
Cortado
an interesting
and a burrito.
picture.
Yeah. Anybody have any races coming up? Raise your hand if you're racing soon. Shout out what you're racing. What are we racing? I love it. We got some people racing the marathon, some crazy horse marathoners, and some more good stuff out there. The marathon tomorrow should be interesting. It's one of those marathons that's more than a marathon, I believe. 26.7 miles, which is coincidentally the distance every time I run the Boston Marathon. The weather forecast for tomorrow, we're gonna have some weather. Great question. Between 6 and 20 inches is what they're saying. Oh, got it. Well, they're planning to do a weather briefing this afternoon, and then there will be some updates provided there. I just wondered if you heard anything. I don't have any.
No updates on the weather yet. Hoping for some a little bit.
On the news stations,
So I'm like looking at this track and like, I don't know how I ended up on the Boise River Marathon.
Yeah. We're not going to provide updates on the boys.
It's the best.
I'm always waiting.
I have to go to
Michael Jackson break.
Michael Jackson break. And we're back.
All right, guys. First runner, Joseph Gray, is through 2 miles to go to the finish. Hunting for his 5th win at this race. One of the greatest of all time. He right now, his gun time is about 1:45 with 2 miles to go. I don't know how accurate this is. Projected finish is about 2:03:46. I could honestly say somewhere maybe in the 2:05 range, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And as we get closer, we will we'll give you more updates. So he is very close to taking his 5th win here.
Sun's out over there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, man. You see the incline and everything from here.
You forgot your sunglasses. Head over to the Fleet Feet booth and purchase some. You got Gooders and Tifosi over there.
No.
Yeah.
Amazing. Want to come up and hang out for a little bit? Talk about your race?
For a little bit.
All right, let's do it. It's an easy opportunity to.
Yeah, I can hang out for a sec. Okay.
Yeah, just go. All right, guys, we are joined by Mason Kobe, swap runner, and he just got back from the Headlands race that I was telling you guys a little bit before. Mason, how was your race, man?
It was a lot of fun. I'm not from that area of California, but I'm originally from California, so it's kind of nice being on trails that I'm more familiar with, kind of play to my strengths. A little bit more light flat foot speed, smoother terrain. So I really enjoyed that, but yeah, no, it's really cool getting to compete the best competition in the world. Everyone took it out super hot, so that was interesting.
Oh my God, dude, that finish was just so bad between Alpecin and Beaumont.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a track finish right there. Again, I'm so excited with where trail running is right now, where trail running is going. Just people are getting faster and faster and faster, and it's really exciting to see.
Do you think the Ascent is something you might consider one of these years?
Probably not. I'm not a big fan of just straight up uphill races. The only reason why I would do it is my girlfriend, Emily, who's actually racing right now. The only reason why I would do the Ascent is so I could run with her and watch her the entire time. Other than that, no, I'm not interested in racing at all.
So what do you got next? You're getting ready for CIM?
Yeah. So trail season is all wrapped up. Next plan now is to get fast on the roads, kind of build up again foot speed and fitness. And yeah, I'll be doing CIM in December.
That's exciting, man. Well, thanks for coming out. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna go catch the cog, try to see I'm finished.
Best of luck to Mason Kopi. Thanks so much, Mason. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have Fleet Feet over there with pancakes. If you haven't eaten breakfast yet, you can go get some pancakes. Pair that with the coffee from Mountain Brews.
Gentlemen, I'm stepping away for a minute. I'll be back.
We'll miss you.
Yeah. Don't mess anything up.
Deal. Good try. In 22nd place, we have Brittany Worley, who is a professional triathlete. So we have a professional triathlete dabbling in the uphill here. Brittany is from the Boulder area.
Do you want to give a shout out to Marty Sklar as well? Looks like she's hanging back in 13th place. What an amazing finish for Marty. She's really worked up this year. Local Colorado Springs runner and just absolute crusher.
The names of these locations are fun. We've got Bottomless Pit. Do you know why it's called that?
Yeah, it's literally a bottomless pit. It's like a deep couloir. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, then A-frame. Yeah, it's true. You haven't been up there. So A-frame is like.
Tell us about the course.
Yeah, so all right. So we have. It kind of starts off Ruston, which you've probably been on. It's just a paved road for the most part. You kind of break off and you hit this area called the W's. And the W's are these gnarly, nasty, semi-technical switchbacks. Now there's a giant boulder on there. You kind of have to like meander around. It's fun. And once you hit the top of the W's, you kind of switch on over to No Name Creek. It's literally a creek with no name. And
Does that mean it has a name?
well, technically it has a name because it's no name yet. So you switch on over to No Name Creek. I believe there's a few more checkpoints there that I'm missing. But 6 miles up, you're going to hit Bar Camp. Bar Camp is the historical camp, if you will. There's a few more, like a refuge, kind of sitting at 10,000 feet that everyone loves to go visit.
To bring it back to Zach Miller again.
Yeah, Zach Miller
He
was
was a caretaker up there.
Yeah.
He would haul groceries up the incline.
I don't know if I could do that. I find like without modern technology, cell phone, no nothing. Like he was up there, kind of just just training.
I couldn't do that.
I mean, it makes sense to why he has so many great UTMB finishes because there's nothing to do but work and train.
I mean, he would get 2,000 feet of gain every time he got groceries.
Yeah, and he would like haul them on his back on the incline.
Yeah, he's like a million eggs every time he gets groceries.
Legendary. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, fun fact about the pancakes too. Bar Camp does every morning. They'll do like a pancake breakfast, and then they'll give the extra one away. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See you later. Yeah. All right, so
You can take a cog railroad up there.
You can. Yeah, you can. There's like a separate section where you have to get off and walk, but yeah, it's not like it's parallel to the trail. Really fun fact here in the 15th place, in 14th place, I'm seeing Mr. George Foster. George Foster is the first one in the group that is, I believe, not an American runner. He's from the United Kingdom. We recently had him on the podcast. Fun fact, in 2019 when he ran this race, he took 6th and he started in the second wave, which is very rare for a runner to start in the second wave and finish in the top 10. So he's very much on his way. In 15th place, we got Mr. Benjamin Townsend. He just passed E-frame as well in a split of 1:52.37. This group is flying. This is a very fast group this year, and I think a lot of it has to do with the weather. We just had absolutely perfect weather this week, or this weekend.
This morning.
Today. All right, so we've got some updated splits with 2 miles to go. We already told you that Joseph Gray was in first place. He has about 4 minutes on Nikki Bowden-Rosio, who also just passed.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. Joseph Gray is through Cirque, which is about. It didn't need a live update, but that's what I'm getting from the WhatsApp chat. Is Joseph Gray? Yeah, breaking news. Joseph Gray is through Cirque. In third place is Mr. Seth James Lauriello. He has about 5 minutes back on Joe. In fourth place is Mr. Cam Smith. Fun fact about Cam Smith, just took first place at the Rut Vertical Kilometer in 28K just last weekend. Comes back and competes for the top 10 of this race, and might also be racing the marathon tomorrow. So what an aerobic monster.
A lot of uphill.
And in sixth place, also with 2 miles to go, is my La Sportiva teammate, Mr. Joseph Demore, absolute legend. He just took second place at the vertical kilometer at the World Skyrunning Championships just a week and a half ago. So I'm sure he's excited to be up here racing at 14,000 feet. He finds himself very much at home in the 14ers. He's a Carbondale local in Colorado, so in that valley area, not too far from Carbondale and Aspen. He trained very often on a lot of those 14ers, the Maroon Bells, and Capital.
What a gorgeous area that is. I did the 4-pass a couple of summers ago, and that area is wonderful.
Stunning, absolutely stunning. Some of the most beautiful mountains in Colorado, I would argue. Yeah, I've never been on it, but I hear that route is legendary.
It's legendary, and it knocked me around pretty hard. It's 4 12,000-foot passes, and some of the descents are slower than the ascents because it's just street fields, basically. Not street fields, just like a rocky, gravelly descent.
Wow. It's kind of unique. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of funny. Manitou Springs, Colorado Springs area. I know I think a lot of people that live outside of the area would think Colorado trails are pretty technical, but I feel Colorado Springs for the most part is pretty buttery trails. They're really fun, very fast, and just very fun to run on. So yeah, super rad. All right, so what I'm getting updated is Joseph Gray's through Cirque. It has not hit the live leaderboard yet, but I do know Joseph is through Cirque, and I believe Mika Bowden-Rosio is also through Cirque as well, and has not triggered the live updates. So I guess you can say, yeah, Joe with 1. They both are 1 mile to go to the finish. Joe with about. It looks like the third runner is about 100 meters behind as well. We have a race for third place. So Seth James Demore, for those of you that are unaware, is one of the best athletes in the world at high altitude. He's absolutely incredible. Last year, he was about 15th man at the 2023 Pikes Peak Ascent. He was about the 15th man at A-frame and absolutely swept the field above tree line to end himself in the 4th place. Very deadly at altitude, so it's going to be really fun. We have a race on our hands with him only about 100 yards back from Mika Bowden-Rosio, who is a great uphill athlete as well. So it should be fun to see what the battle for 2nd and 3rd place is going to look like.
Man, a competitive finish at 14,000 feet. I can't imagine how that's going to feel. I can't imagine
It's going to be very slow, but very fast.
It's going to look like slow motion, but in full speed.
Yeah, so it's still triggering Joe with 1 mile to go. He should be pretty close to the finish within the next 10 minutes, less than that probably. So it looks like that projected finish is going to be somewhere in that 207 to 209 range, which is about on par for projected. That was so last year, Seth James Demore took 4th place in about 209. It was 209.27. So that's actually a really, really solid split. Given the circumstances, given the field, amazing to see them out there with some of the best in the world. Crazy. Let's see what we have going on for the females as well. See if we've got anything going on there.
We have quite a few people tuned into the YouTube now. Check that out.
There we go.
Thanks for tuning in there, YouTube people.
All right, guys, so we've got some updates from the female side of the race. Miss Allie Mack, the crusher, is through A-frame. A-frame is about 10.29 miles through the race. Allie Mack right now split A-frame in about 1 hour and 56 minutes. She's pretty closely followed behind by Hallie Hackman. Hallie, she only has about a minute and a half from what I'm seeing on there. Maybe a little closer to 2 minutes on, or Allie only has about closer to 2 minutes on Hallie. Anna Mae Flynn, we're still waiting for her tracker to refresh. It should refresh any second to get her through A-frame. Probably pretty closely followed behind. So we're just waiting for those splits to update soon. So we should be seeing our male finisher, our overall finisher, coming through within the next few minutes. Which is legendary. If Joe takes his 5th win here, he's already on Mount Rushmore, but this is just absolutely incredible to follow along. This is one of the hot topics we kind of debated when we did our, for the podcast, we kind of did a preview episode for the Pike Peak Ascent. Joe, who raced Surf Series A Basin last week, and took 3rd place. He cracked his ankle pretty bad, had a nasty ankle roll. So we were kind of wondering, what that was going to look like and how that was going to translate. And it looked like he was pretty easily able to kind of get past that injury and get himself to the front of the pack.
Hey, we need to fire an announcer, I forget the word, but, those guys. So, it's a commercial.
Oh, yeah, got it. This commercial break brought to you by.
Whether you're racing to the summit of Pikes Peak or hiking your favorite trail in the Pikes Peak region, the North Face has the gear to support your adventure. Tough, reliable, and ready for anything. The North Face is with you every step of the way. Visit our tent at the expo and get ready for your next journey. Remember, never stop exploring.
Thank you, North Face.
Mountains, Arc'teryx products are designed for the core mountain athlete, offering unrivaled performance at the point of extreme need. From storms to sunsets, we got you covered with the essential pieces to take you between seasons. Visit any one of our 4 retail stores in Colorado, including Castle Rock, Boulder, and 2 Denver stores located in the Rhino and Cherry Creek neighborhoods. Visit us online at arc'teryx.com.
All right, guys, just another update on the men's field, just to give you paint a little bit better of a picture of what's going on between 2nd and 3rd place. Mika Bodin-Rosio only has about 20-30 seconds, less than a minute lead on Steph James Moore, who is charging hard for that 2nd place position. So it's going to be really fun to see what unfolds.
We still don't have the split from Anna Mae Flynn, but that should be coming through any minute now. Yep. Is that a chopper that's off to get live footage for us? Chopper. This live broadcast is brought to you by That Coffee. Thank you very much.
No, still no. Oh, really fun. Marty Skillard, local Colorado Springs Crushers, moved up into 11th place, a bottomless pit. Might very well get herself into the top 10. So big shout out to Marty. Follow also Julie Powell, another local Colorado Springs runner in 15th place. Want to give a big shout out to her. Run with Julie a bunch. For the women's races.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old days.
It'd be interesting to see what the update is from Anime and Kristen Johnson, because at the last checkpoint they were 30 seconds apart.
Yeah. So we're about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or 2 hours, 5 minutes into the race. So we should have our finisher within the next 2 to 3 minutes.
That's what I was wondering. We didn't see a refresh, so the first runner hasn't crossed
Not
yet.
no. First runner's not through yet. I would imagine within the next 2 minutes we should get Joe through. And yeah, it's Joe Gray, followed by Mika Bowden-Rosio, followed by Steph James DeMore, who's charging hard behind for that second place position and might very well get it.
Okay.
So, fun fact, last year, Remy Bonnet cracked the course record. The original first record set by Matt Carpenter was in 1993. He set that record during the marathon for the Ascent. Actually, the marathon record and the Ascent record, which was, I believe, 201, it was either 201.15 or 201.06. And then last year, that was lowered by Remy Bonnet, who ran about 2 hours, 20 seconds.
Matt Carpenter has one of the highest VO2 maxes ever recorded, so good stuff at this high altitude. He was in the 90s, I believe.
Dude, Matt Carpenter was the ultimate competitor. one of the great legends go to the game.
His Leadville record was taken down this year by none other than David Roche.
Big fan of David Roche.
Big fan.
Yeah, I love his podcast, love him as a person, just a very interesting guy. Just amazing that he was able to do this year. He made absolute history.
And what was really cool is he broke down all of his training about how he did it. And
He's very transparent.
yeah, David was previously running 6 days a week. This training cycle, he was doing 5 days a week with some cross training and uphill treadmills and taking his ketones. Again, you can get that over at Fleet Feet, and some strength work.
Yeah.
And it worked.
He's an interesting person. I think one of the things too that really struck me with him, like I said, I love the transparency and how he talked about his physiology is also very unique. He's one of those rare individuals that can run in high zone 2 for 100 miles and just
Yeah, 15 hours.
get that out of himself. Not many people on the planet can do that.
What he figured out was he can, as long as he was keeping the fuel intake up, he could run that high zone 2 for quite a long time. And so he, at Leadville, which starts at 10,000 feet and goes up to a little bit above that, he was doing 500 calories an hour. He was doing 120 grams of carbs an hour, and he said he was doing about 30 ounces of liquid an hour. And the gamble with that is at high altitude or even at sea level, that much volume and fuel, you risk the GI distress, particularly at higher altitude where you're more disposed to having the GI issues. And he put it all together on the day, and it paid off.
So this is an interesting conversation, actually. And
Are we about to get into carb talk?
Yeah. So it was really interesting to me, and I'm gonna have to probably deviate in a second because our winner might be through he's probably gonna be through any minute right now. But on that discussion really quick with the carbohydrates and the 100 to 120 grams of carbohydrates per hour, it was interesting to me because Leadville made the most sense where you're running at a certain heart rate. It's a fast course. It's a runnable course. There's not a lot of deviation in heart rate, right?
Except for the middle.
For the middle, right. But that's not, I mean, how many miles?
20 miles?
It's about 20 miles away. So the way he was able to kind of, I think he stopped fueling almost. He kind of peeled back on it for a time. Or what he said. Plus he was hopped up on work afterwards and most humans can survive.
Yep. His baseline is pretty high with that.
So crazy. Anyway, so what I thought was really interesting is then you see something like a UTMB where you had all these runners in the front like absolutely imploding. And I think a lot of it was probably overfueling in a lot of ways where these guys were overtaking too many carbs and not being able to stomach that.
Well, the effort at a race like UTMB is a little bit lower with all the climbing, and it's a lot longer of a race from, I mean, it's a couple miles longer, but in terms of the number of hours, they're out there for 20 plus versus 15, and a lot of things can change in those 5 to 10 more hours.
I also think it's one of those things of like training. You gotta remember, like Leadville, although it starts at like 4 o'clock in the morning, you're still going through the day. Whereas the UTMB, you're starting at 6 o'clock or whatever at night and going through the night. And I wonder if there's something off with like that part of the equation has yet to be solved. Where yes, you're moving a lot slower, but also you're going through the night. It's colder. There's more temperature variation, and kind of what that will do to like cause you not to be able to like keep down nutrition.
Yeah, I mean, he finished 100 miler by dinner time, so didn't have to go.
So crazy.
Even needed a headlamp.
That's why you popped the champagne and then started throwing.
100 miles of
All right, so I'm not seeing him through yet. We're at 2 hours, 10 minutes. We should be through any second now. We should have our winner, Joseph Gray, at the top. If he hasn't already done it, just not seeing anything on the live tracker to click it or anything on the WhatsApp stream for us to say that we have our winner.
We do have the update from Anime Flynn, who has passed.
Yes, Anime Flynn in 3rd position right now. 2 hours, 8 minutes, 19 seconds through bottomless pit on her way up to A-frame. Allie as well, looks like she hasn't hit A-frame yet from bottomless pit.
And Anime put about 10 seconds between her and 4th place.
Another update as well on the men's side. So we do have Cameron Smith in 4th place. Just following pretty closely Seth Demore. He's about 3 minutes behind Seth Demore in 4th, followed by Joshua Ernst in 4th place, about 3 minutes back from Cam, and followed by Joseph Demore, about 17 seconds off Joshua Ernst. So we got ourselves a race at the front. We also have Kieran Nate in 8th position with 1 mile to go, and he's about a minute back from Owen Wright, who is in 7th place. And yeah, so these guys are all 1 mile to go to the finish.
While we were talking about Leadville, remiss to not mention Mary Denholm's success up there this summer. She won all of the races. She almost set the course record in the 100s.
All right,
breaking news.
Breaking news. We got our finisher. Mr. Joseph Gray takes his 5th win.
If you cheer loud enough, they'll hear you.
Yeah. In 2:11:13. Not his slowest time, not his fastest time, but very steady, very solid time. So massive congratulations to one of the greatest of all time, our local Colorado Springs hero, Mr. Joseph Gray.
Do you think he'll be jogging it down for a shakeout?
Definitely not.
He'll take the parachute with
Allie.
Allie.
He's the Hoka. Hoka makes parachutes. I think when Allie signed with Hoka, she like really did a base jump with the Hoka. All right, let's pivot on over to the female side. See what's going on over there.
We have movement from Allie.
Yep.
You're next.
Yep, so Allie's got 2 miles to go. So Allie is above A-frame right now in 2:12:21. So Allie might very well be on track for somewhere. One of Allie's fastest finishes, I believe, was in the 2:37 range. That was back, I believe it was the first or second time she won it. So yeah, Allie's pretty speedy, very well could go under her existing record for herself, followed by Hallie Hoffman. Hallie Hoffman still does not have a split with 2 miles to go, so Allie is very much in a commanding lead right now. So we should be getting splits on Hallie Hoffman and Anime Flynn any second.
We are watching a video of Joe Gray. He is breathing hard.
Going to the well.
This sounds like finishing a 5K.
Did I already hear you already had the first finisher?
Yeah, Joseph took the win, his 5th win in 2 hours, 11 minutes.
It felt like we just started.
Actually, the heavy breathing might be from the cameraman.
Yeah, this track on the map has the female race on it with Allie Mack in first, followed pretty closely by Hallie Halfman, Anna Maitland in third. You ladies are flying. Yeah, this is the top one.
Yeah. 2:11.
Yeah, there's one at the top of the A-frame. There's one at the top of the W's, one at Bob's Road, which is like mile 5.3, one at Barstow, one at A-frame, and one at Silver.
Y'all be here tomorrow too?
No, I wish. No, I'm just waiting the set. Are you running tomorrow?
Running tomorrow, and 2 weeks to do the race work in the time. Okay, cool. Then it's going to be Marine Corps Marathon.
Are you from Colorado? No, I'm actually from Chelsea. Oh, cool. Good for you, man.
The North Face is proud to sponsor the Pike Peak Marathon and Ascent, where athletes conquer the mountain and the spirit of adventure thrives. Whether you're tackling tough trails or pushing yourself to new heights, the North Face has the gear to get you there. Stay prepared, stay determined, and remember, never stop exploring.
What you did? Clint. Clint, yeah. Good job, Clint. Nice to meet you. Okay, wow.
Start a journey that will be life-changing. In less than 11 months, the Colorado Institute of Massage Therapy provides a 750-hour certification in neuromuscular massage. True to our vision of being a medically based massage school, our graduates can work confidently with other medical professionals and perform massage in a variety of settings. Do you want to start your own business? Then this is for you. Don't miss the opportunity to advance your career. Visit us at cimt.edu for more information.
Thank you.
All right, we got some breaking news in the men's race. Our second place and third place finishers have come through. We did have a very tight race for second place. Steph DeMoore was actually able to overtake Mika Bodin-Rosio for that second position to finish 3 minutes behind Joe in 2:14.58. Followed by Mika Bodin-Rosio, who took third place in 2:15.48. So that is our men's podium complete. It looks like Cam Smith is very close behind. He should be taking fourth place any second now. He looks like he's got about a 2-minute lead on Joshua Ernst. So very much in command of that fourth position. So we're gonna go ahead and pivot on over to the women's race to follow that, and we'll give updates as we go from there. Dude, Alex. I gotta be honest with you, Cam looks smoother.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wow, what a cool.
It's like the least technical board here.
I don't think tomorrow.
Definitely,
Yeah, that's a good one. Who is this again?
that's Mika Bodin-Rosio.
We got Mika Bodin-Rosio here on this footage.
And then Cam Smith, you got to scroll with Cam Smith.
Yep.
All right, so it looks like our second female is through, 2 miles to go. Allie Halfman in second place. about 2 minutes back off Allie's lead. Allie right now is about 2:12, 22 into the race. Allie Hoffman's about 2 minutes back. So we're waiting on Anime Flynn to come through in third place, following very closely behind Kristen Johnson, who's about a minute back off Anime Flynn at the bottomless pit split.
Just want to give another shout out to Hydra Pack for helping to make this race a cupless race, so we're not putting a ton of waste out there as a result of doing what we love. So thank you, Hydra Pack, for helping to reduce the amount of trash created.
They also make great bottles.
They also make great bottles. The bottles are fantastic. The filters are also fantastic.
Filters are good. The new one they just get olive.
The blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fan of the Sky Flask.
Big fan of Sky Flask. Sky Flask and the filter, great combo. Fresh mountain water, it's lovely. Cheers to that.
Yes. All right, so we're still waiting on that split from Anime Flynn. Allie Mack with 2 minutes up on Hallie Hoffman, and we've got ourselves a race. I mean, 2 minutes is not a giant lead above tree line. Anything can happen, as we saw in the men's race. That first through third position could be compromised. We will see.
I haven't seen anyone who can hurt like Allie. Although Zach Miller can, actually.
Oh, they're friends. That makes sense.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, Allie, I just, out of all the athletes I've ever hung out with, interviewed, raced against, been with, like, I have to say, like, Allie is one of, like I said, her aggression, like, when she takes it out in a race, is just so fun to follow along. She's, like, one of the most fun athletes.
And it usually works out.
Yeah. I mean, dude, she took it out. I mean, she wanted, her goal and intention was to win OCC, and one of these years she's going to get it, you know, so. But it's great to have her back here at her hometown race.
It's great to see her racing. Did she take some time off?
Yeah, she was dealing with some injury earlier in the year. She came off, dude, even injured. She came off the broken arrow. Had a great race in the DK and 23K, and then I think it was possibly some back stuff that she was working through. And then took some time off to get healthy for OCC. Had herself kind of a tough race there. She raced very aggressively. Ended up in 15th, which is still an amazing finish for one of the most competitive, probably the most competitive 50K on the planet. And then now she's back here.
We were looking at drone footage from up top. There are a lot of rocks.
So many rocks and no trees.
So many rocks. Colorado rocks.
No oxygen either. All right, we've got a few more finishes on the men's side. In the top 5, Mr. Cam Smith took 4th place. Big shout out to Cam. First place at the Rut last week in the VK 28K. Followed very closely by my La Sportiva teammate, Mr. Joseph Demore, the pride of Carbondale, Colorado. We are just waiting on 6th through 10th to start rolling through on the men's side, and the first place female should be coming through pretty soon now. Allie Mack we should be getting a split with about one mile at the top.
Carbondale is a wonderful town if you're looking for a place to visit.
My aunt and uncle actually live there. It is an amazing town. Yeah, it's the Roaring Fork Valley is stunning.
A lot of 14ers around there.
Yeah, a lot of technical, nasty, hard 14ers.
What is it, Capitol Peak that's right there?
Capitol Peak, Pyramid, you got North Maroon, Conundrum is close. Yeah, there's quite a few. the Elks or quite a range?
Popular trail runner and writer Zoe Rome,
Yeah.
resident of Carbondale, has the FPT on Capitol Peak.
Yeah, I used to be coached by TJ.
Oh, cool.
Good people, man.
Microcosm coaching.
Yeah, big shout out to Microcosm Coaching. Great coaches. TJ just ran. Oh, Zoe had an amazing last
Zoe
finish.
had an
And
amazing-
TJ ran last year, right? Yeah.
TJ had a great time last year. I was looking through his pull-up between
Poor guy.
76 and 87. That was fun. And Zoe came in second this year. That was
amazing.
wonderful, yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I think with Zoe definitely has world class ability. Phenomenal athlete.
Zoe has world-class ability. She was just on my podcast last week, and she talked about how shedding a lot of the extra stuff and the other things that she was adding to her life enabled her to have a fantastic day and really focus.
That's interesting. Like just simplification, kind of.
Simplification. Stop saying yes to everything.
I like that.
Yeah, I say yes to everything, so I could learn a lot from her.
Same. Same for me. All right, so we've got 6th and 7th place, Joshua Ernst and Owen Wright through the finish. And we should have hometown hero, Mr. Kieran Nang, in 8th place through the finish any second now. This is all right, so we got, let's see if we got skill over there. We do? Yeah, all right, cool. We love that refresh.
So did the winners come through yet?
Yes.
Did they do? Both
Yeah.
male and female?
No, we're still waiting on the female.
Still
The
waiting.
men came through. Joseph Gray won in 2:11, followed by Seth James Moore in 2:13.
Okay.
We have the top 4 women through 11.4, and wow, we have a close one between Anime and Kristen Johnson in 3rd and 4th place. Looks to be about 14, 15 seconds.
Wow, we've got ourselves a race for 3rd place. Ellie Hoffman seems like she's got a pretty commanding lead on 3rd.
Yeah, 12 minutes.
Yeah, pretty close to Allie though. She's within a minute and a half, 2 minutes on
Yes,
Allie. Yeah. So this could be. Allie's got to keep pushing. She should hit that 1 mile to go split at any point in time though. That's a long mile.
That is a long mile.
That's tough above 14 or above 13,000.
Above 13,000 feet, I believe it counts as 2 miles on your Strava.
And the other thing is, one of the fun facts, I had Mr. Mark Tatum, who's actually in the race today, came on the podcast, and we had a long discussion on like the history of Pike's Peak. But one of the things we talked about was like the barometric pressure above sea at 14,000 feet. If that barometric pressure, there's a possibility it could feel like 15 or 16,000 feet up there, depending on what you get from the day.
Fun fact.
Or it could feel like 12. You never know. I do have a feeling though, with the 2:11 time, given how fast they were going, that barometric pressure definitely played with the weather.
To the song Under Pressure.
Second question.
Yes.
So on the screen, will we be able to see the runners eventually, or no? It's gonna
No, unfortunately, I don't have
Dots moving.
be the dots moving. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Hopefully next year.
Yeah.
We have
sounds good.
another
Thanks for-
update from Allie Mack.
Yeah, Ellie Mack just clicked on 1 mile to go, running in 2:28:04. So 1 mile to the finish for Ellie Mack, and she moving at pace 12 minutes a mile, which is bananas. That is so fast for that high.
If you've never been up that high while pushing that hard, it's a pretty wild feeling to be going all out and moving like 1 to 3 miles an hour. It's very humbling.
All right, we've got some more folks through on the men's side in the top 10. Mr. Kieran May, hometown legend, finishes the race in 2:26:43. Absolutely great time. You know, he ran a training one with Brian Whitfield, who took top 10 last year, and they ran a pretty solid 2:35 to the top. So pretty exciting to see Kieran shave significant time off his PR to run himself into the top 10. Mr. Finian Jacobson as well, just took, looks like 9th place as well in 2:28:29. and we should have some more through as we go.
It's 2.5 hours of running straight uphill. Let's put that in perspective.
Yeah, not a lot of descending. Quick shout out as well, Mr. Benjamin Townsend, another local young crusher. Fun fact on Benjamin Townsend, friend of the podcast, he actually ran a lot of the youth skyrunning races, or skyrunning races in the youth skyrunning series this year. So he was over in France racing at races like Sky Race de Masson, as well as the Cordelia Blanca Sky Race in Peru. So he's kind of been all over the world racing this year, which I feel like it's going to give you some serious confidence when you come over here to race against the best. So big shout out to Benjamin Townsend. He looks like he's somewhere, looks like he's hanging out in the top 15 right now in about 14th place. Not too far behind is Mr. George Foster, the pride of the United Kingdom, another crusher. As I mentioned before about George Foster, he actually took 6th place in 2019 running from the second group, which is kind of wild. Not a very easy thing to do. He's a Hoka athlete from the United Kingdom.
I see a lot of people squinting out there due to the sun. If you need some sunglasses, Fleet Feet has you covered. Go over, grab some Tifosis or Gooders, and you'll make your day a little bit better.
All right, so some movements on the women's side. Casey Sutherland as well in 6th place. Big shout out to Casey. And Misha Miller, pretty neck and neck for 5th and 6th place right now. So there's kind of a group of women. Kristen Johnson out in front of them. Right now, it looks like Misha Miller and Cassie Sutherland are running together in a group of about, separated by about 2 seconds. These ladies have 2 miles to go to the finish. So it's going to be a tight race to the finish for the top 5 women. All right, so guys, a little bit of an update. Hallie Halfman just split. Well, she's moving. This is going to be a barn burner. I mean, I don't really know how this is going to go out. So Hallie Hoffman just split with 1 mile to go, and she's less than a minute behind Allie to the top. So Allie is definitely being chased right now and is going to be challenged for the win. So lots of interesting stuff unfolding at the front of the women's race. This is going to be a knockdown, drag down battle for first place. So really exciting to follow along.
We're gonna have to get Allie and Joe on here later to talk about what it's like to be chased down at 14,000 feet.
Joe already he kind of volunteered to come on, so it would be fun to, if he they're driving him down probably now in the Subaru. He might be hanging out to see Allie finish or see the front of the ladies, so we will see. Plus I think they do the podiums at the top, and then they do another ceremony down here. Look at that, my dogs are sleeping. They're finally relaxed. Wow, I can't believe what's unfolding at the front of the women's race here. This is crazy. So Allie took it out, like Allie usually does, very aggressively, very hard, and it seems like Hallie and Allie. Seems like Hallie ran a very, not that Allie didn't, but Hallie ran, it seemed like a much more dialed back race and progressed herself up there once she got into that second position and is charging hard.
Allie's probably saying, don't stop believing. Just keep holding on to that feeling.
Yeah, that chip time is so close. I mean, that's within 53 seconds of one another. Oh, that's crazy. And Anime's fighting hard for third. I think Anime very well is going to get a PR on the day. I believe she ran, I can't remember which, it was 230s, 240s, probably late 230s. So she very well will probably get herself into a PR for the day. And again, Anime Flynn in third place right now. Arguably one of the best female DK runners, if not, definitely in the country, if not the world. She's phenomenal.
I did rim to rim with Anime Flynn, and she just did rim to rim from the north side to the south side, and she was trying to set the FKT. And to see her, she's a great ascender, but to see her launch out of a cannon going downhill was quite a sight as well.
She's immensely talented, phenomenally talented. And a great coach as well. She owns and operates. She's one of the head coaches for Mountain Endurance Coaching. Phenomenal coach in the game. She's actually Kieran Nay's coach.
Is she Ryan Montgomery's coach as well?
Yes. Yeah, Ryan Montgomery's coach. Yeah, big shout out to Ryan Montgomery. Had some great finishes at Leadville this year. I mean, it's tough to at Western States. He's dropping
COVID. He's finished.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Leadville
was great. Yeah.
I'm a big Ryan fan. He's going back to school now, getting his MBA at Dartmouth.
In Vermont, yeah. Those New England trails, they humble you. I was talking to Ryan about this, and much slower out in.
Oh yeah, it's nasty. Right? Yeah, it's not. I know. I guess he's from he was living in Park City for a while, so it's smooth. Yeah, smoother trails. Got the Wasatch. You ever run out there?
I've run in Park City.
Yeah. Wasatch. I really actually
did the North Face race out there. One of the best race series in the country.
I know they didn't
Rest in peace.
Yeah, they didn't bring it back. It's kind of a bummer we don't have it anymore.
Yeah, if the folks over at North Face are listening, please bring that one back.
Yeah, if anyone at the North Face is listening, it would be really fun to have like the TNF 50 resurrected or a couple other races. Yeah, there you go.
Bring it back.
Let's do it.
Really was a fantastic race. The finale was in Marin originally it was December and then it was November. And when it was in December, it was like, who is not injured and not burnt out from the season? And it was just like, all right, you're gonna empty the tank in these 50 miles. And it was quite an experience to watch. And then it was in November, right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so many people made their names there. I mean, like I said, you see these great battles between the likes of Zach Miller and Hayden Hawks.
Yep.
And then who lives in Boulder? Drew
Holman.
Drew Holman made his name there.
Yep.
That's how Dylan Bowman discovered him. And yeah, it's.
Was Drew living in San Francisco at that time?
He was. Yeah.
Now pride of Boulder. And the Boulder Boys. You're looking for good podcasts, that's fun stuff.
That is fun stuff. Seth Rowling's an interesting. Like, there's just like a lot of good characters in that.
Adam Mary, Matt Daniels. Yeah, it's good.
Big Matt Daniels fan.
Moy.
Yeah.
Good fun banter.
Sorry, I have a video where first email is supposed to be through, but I'm not seeing the first email.
That does not look like Allie.
No, that's definitely not Allie Mack. Let's see what we got here. These are drone shots. Who sent this?
A lot of rocks. There are a lot of rocks up there.
John, you sent me bad information. So we'll wait for some feedback on where Allie Mack is. Allie Mack should be finishing at any point in time, or Allie Mack or Allie.
In the next 3 minutes,
Yeah,
probably.
these two are. So the updated projected finishes, and this tracks with Allie's former times. Like Allie's ran as high as 2:37 here. So her projected finish now has moved down to about 2:40, very closely behind by Hallie Hoffman in 2:41.39. So the front of the women's race is indeed pretty close, and it's got about a 10 minute split on Anime Flynn in third.
This tracking app is fantastic. It's from Brooksy, and it includes, as you said, a projected finish and much more consistent updates than you normally see.
Yeah, it's interesting because like the projected finishes, I feel like you almost have to like take it and then add an extra 3 to 5 minutes on, but it's still pretty solid. It's not bad. I was laughing because I was looking before and it had like them, like Joe at one point finishing at like 1:49, 1:50. I was like,
Very
that's
optimistic.
10 minutes under the course record. That would be cool. I want to give some shout outs as well to some of the other athletes in the top 20. Like I said, we have some hard charging. Marty Scalard moved up in A-frame into 9th place, which is crazy. She's a local Colorado Springs runner, so big shout out to Marty. Julie Powell as well, not far behind in 14th. See if we see any other names I recognize. Let's switch on over to the men and see where my friends are.
All right, within the next probably minute or two here, we should have an update. And it could be either of them, depending on how this shakes out.
All right, good buddy of mine, Brad Barrett, bid 261, projected finish in 302. What's that? Oh, sorry. Okay, So the video is still loading. We don't have visual yet on Allie. The video is still loading, but it looks like Allie and Allie are within 100 meters from one another.
Oh my
Just below the
goodness.
finish. So we're talking, these girls are going to go up the golden stairs together, pretty close, followed by one another. Wow. So Allie's got to move if she wants to take the dub.
Oh, I wish we had video of this right now.
Yeah, the women's races are always like way more exciting in my opinion. They're way more exciting. All right, so
Well, they taste better.
they run smarter.
Totally.
If I've learned anything, I think like learning how to race this year, racing the Cirque Series races, like people go out so fast, and then like they all come back to you. And if you just start patient, you know, like with the way most females start patiently, you can actually like make an impact in the race.
Totally. When I moved to Boulder, I started doing long runs with a group called Boulder Underground, and I would run with the women. And we'd start out sort of joggy pace, joggy effort for the first 5 miles, and we'd close in 6:30s. And it was fantastic to feel strong at the end instead of at the beginning.
Absolutely destroyed at the end. Yeah. And I think with men, there's just a lot of like we race with a lot of ego. And like I train with a group of guys, and we always try to put each other into the ground. But eventually, you just burn too many matches.
Yeah. It's the fun dynamic of the top men in Boulder. They often leave their races in training.
100%.
So the top two is like a minute apart.
Yeah. So the top two women are within 100 yards of each other. Yeah, it's a very close race. And then honestly, 3 and 4 are within seconds of each other as well.
Is that the one you took?
The golden stairs. So the golden stairs closer to the top. So let's see. I think we have a video right now. If you guys want to come over here, come on. Hang on out. Yeah, we've got. I've got video on my. Sorry, I'm just gonna do it on my phone.
How long does Allie got left? How far? Less than a mile.
What's that? Oh, Austin keeps running. 2 broken. Wow.
All right, so here.
Casey Sutherland has running with 2 broken back twice. Wow. Good recovery there. Very cool.
Well, we're big Casey Sutherland fans. We're gonna be calling her name. All right, so we have a visual on Allie Mack right now. That's Allie. Yep. She's trying to make this pass, but this leads to an interesting conversation of like women's and men's fields starting apart. Yeah. He's hiking and Allie's
Allie
running.
is moving faster than this guy.
Allie's
All right, we're gonna put this on the YouTube. So if you're here in the audience, if you go to the For the Long Run podcast YouTube, you can see this video that we're playing, and it's Allie running in first with less than a mile to go. For the Long Run on YouTube.
Yep.
I don't know that we can.
We're not able to. No, we don't have access. I know.
For the Long Run, for the LR pod, if you search it. Hit that subscribe button. Like and review. 5 stars. Guarantee it's great, yeah. A labor of love. And so if you're watching along on YouTube here, you're seeing Allie trying to make this pass. We have 2, 3, 4 more viewers on YouTube, so some of you out there are watching now. Was there a second video?
There's nothing wild in there.
Cool. We're looking for some more videos to display here. While we
watching the Allie one, there was a bunch of them that popped up.
got it. This one's not loading.
Allie might actually be through by now. Or whoever won should be through by now.
Nothing else has come through. can see the effort that these people are putting out up there.
All right, so just to recap, guys, we have our first 3 females almost to the finish, within 1 mile to go. Allie Mack, Hallie Hoffman, and Kristen Johnson. So Kristen Johnson, we have some movement in 3rd place, was able to pass Anna Mae Flynn, who fell back to 4th. Kristen Johnson, right now in 2:42.57 with a projected finish of 2:56.47. Anna Mae Flynn just behind her. So we're waiting on a split to come through from Anna Mae Flynn, who's currently sitting in 4th place. Allie Mack as well is in 1st place, followed within less than 100 yards from Hallie Hoffman. So a very tight race for all 3 podium positions in the women's field.
We're showing Allie running here. You can see she is flat out at this point.
In addition to our commentary, if you guys happen to have the YouTube app on your phone, if you go to For the Long Run Pod on YouTube, you can watch some of the videos that we are actually putting on there right now that are getting streamed in as we go. There are drone videos and cell phone videos from the top of the mountain. Like and subscribe.
Love it. Oh, we got another.
Allie's probably she has to be.
This looks to be.
Okay, we've got our first place finisher, Miss Allie Mack, to take the win in 2:45.36. Giant congratulations to Allie Mack. Hallie Hoffman cannot be far behind, so I would imagine we'll probably. Okay, Hallie Hoffman just finished 2:45.54, so got within 20 seconds of Allie Mack. So a total brawl for 1st and 2nd place. We are probably about 8 to 10 minutes from the 3rd place finisher coming through. And right now it's a very close race between Kristen Johnson and Anna Mae Flynn. Kristen Johnson just came through, 1 mile to go in 2:42.57. Anna Mae Flynn fell back to 2:46.24, so a few, like 3 or 4 minutes just behind Kristen. Anna Mae trains high altitude very often, so it's very possible Anna Mae Flynn can catch Kristen for that 3rd position.
Oh wow, there's a change there.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a very close women's race. This is very fun to follow along.
Jon is typing. We have an update coming here shortly from our agents in the field. Still no 3rd place female across the line. Yeah, as you were saying,
it's going to take
minutes out.
Minutes, yeah. Yeah, that brutal last mile where the golden stairs are, it's going to take some time for the expert Kristen to come through. She was about a little bit less, like I said, maybe give or take 10 to 12 minutes back from Allie and Hallie Hoffman. I can't believe how close Hallie got to Allie. That's crazy. Like what a barn burner to the finish.
So I've heard often that the time that it takes you to race the Ascent could be comparable to a road marathon. It's kind of looking like that's roughly what it could be.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, a 2:45.36. It's not like a women's OTQ.
Yeah, 2:37.
2:37.
Yeah, Anna Mae Flynn could run a 2:40 low.
Yeah, I would say. And I think Allie. Yeah, they're both all pretty fast.
Maybe take 10 minutes off and you're good to go.
Yeah.
10 to 15.
Again, it's that altitude, man. So it's hard to tell what you're going to get on the day with that barometric pressure.
What you do need to do is fuel and hydrate more.
That's right. Back on our fuel conversation in UTMB.
Let's talk carbs.
Yeah. So, are you like one of those 120 grams?
No, I can't do that, but I'm more in the 60 to 80 range. Me feel pretty good there.
So I race such short races. Like I said, a lot of these Surf Series races are the Mountain Classic and BK distances and stuff like that. And I'll fuel before, but I don't really fuel during. But like training runs, I'll usually subscribe to that 60 to 80 calories.
I was at an event with Dr. Alan Lim over at Scratch Labs.
Yeah, shout out to
Scratch over there. You can try their wares and their delicious snacks. And Alan was saying that it's a bit of a misconception that you can or you should just train to eat as much as you possibly can. What he was suggesting is that you find your threshold of what the highest amount of carbs you can take in per hour is, and then just go below that. So, try 60 an hour, and if that's good, try 80 an hour, and if that's good, try 100 grams an hour. Try 120, and if 120 puts you over the edge, go back to 100. Versus trying to train your gut to do more.
Dude, that's what makes it so unbelievable. Like,
I wouldn't say unbelievable, just so incredible that Roche was able to walk with 120 grams an hour at Leadville. That's so intense.
Yeah, that's a lot of carbs. Between scratch, he was doing precision, and I think science and science and sport, SIS.
Yeah. What kind of gels are you into? You?
I take the scratch gummies and precision.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big. I've gotten into Martin lately.
Yeah.
And never second. Big never second fan.
So I've done a bunch of races and long runs lately that I've had Martin, and yeah, it's well. They got some caffeine in there.
Looks like we got some photos coming through of the first 3 women. Oh wow. That's a crazy photo of Mika Bowden Rosio collapsing at the finish.
Again, if you're on the YouTube, you can see this. It's kind of fuzzy, but
it is all at the finish. He's like such a professional as well. I was talking to him yesterday. We were fortunate enough to have him at the Elite Athletes press conference. And I was asking him like, oh, what are you up to this evening? What are you gonna do the night before the race? And he goes, I have to visualize, and I have to think about my race and like plan. Just a consummate professional. So just really exciting to have him in this field. And just totally go after that podium position. So just amazing. Another fun fact about Mika Bowden Rosio, he was injured. He had a terrible knee injury at the beginning of the season, and the way he got fit for the Broken Arrow VK and a bunch of other of his races is he was using a hand bike. I don't know if you've ever used
wow.
He used a hand bike and got on the podium with the Broken Arrow VK behind Jim Walmsley and beat Christian Allen for in a sprint finish for the podium, which is crazy. And he also did a lot of swimming, but swimming just with his arms, no lower body swimming.
Do we know who Bib 14 is? We have the 3rd place female coming in.
14.
Kristen Johnson is the 3rd place coming into the finish. Unconfirmed. Kristen has separated from Anna Mae Flynn, and we are hearing that she is coming into 3rd place.
Want to give a big shout out too for Casey Sutherland. Casey Sutherland right now in the 5th position, not too far back from Anna Mae Flynn. Projected finish or chip time right now 2:48.29. Projected finish is a little over 3 hours.
Fantastic recovery story.
So any minute now we should have Kristen Johnson, our 3rd place female, to round out the podium. Speaking of Never Second, see Never Second booth over here. Yeah, Never Second. Let's go.
Are we sampling today? They are sampling today.
Oh, we'll come over.
Give it a try.
Big finish.
Who's running the marathon tomorrow? Yeah, nice. There we go.
It's off pace in there.
Wow, not a cloud in the sky. What a beautiful day.
Yeah, we should have that tomorrow.
Go do the marathon today.
Does it still count?
Are you ready for the snow tomorrow?
The what?
You ready for the snow tomorrow?
Yeah, I've never experienced that before, so we'll see.
You're from Alabama?
Yep.
Doesn't snow there much, does it?
It's like the Olympics, once every 4 years.
We have a report that it snows in Alabama once every 4 years, just like the Olympics.
I'm originally from Florida, and yeah, similar. Not a lot of snow down there.
I'm from Boston, where if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It's a lot like that in Colorado here.
So kid number 15, that doesn't look like it.
I know that's
Kid number 15.
We may have had some movement. That is not. That is
That's a shuffle.
that is the stride of someone who has been working extremely hard for the last 2.5 hours,
Could be.
3 hours.
You might have misspoke and said that was bid 14, or maybe I'm going down.
Third, 13.
There's something else. She's got a ways to go. She's like,
You want to see what it looks like to finish at 14,000 feet. This is crazy.
It sounded like you said 15.
Yeah, that's so. We have a 4th place female.
Kristen Johnson still has not crossed the finish line in 3rd place. We're waiting for her to come through any minute now, followed by Anna Mae Flynn in 4th, just a few minutes behind.
Allie looks very happy to be finished. This looks like Anna Mae.
yeah, she was in a white Hoka shirt.
Yep.
She went.
Yep. With her right leg taped. Oh, she's jogging again.
Yeah, she's got such incredible closing speed. You have to keep looking over your shoulder to make sure Anna's not going to get you.
She looks like she's in the hurt locker right there. 5th. She's in 5th.
She felt like a fit.
Seems. Or no, sorry. They're sending the 5th place video.
Okay.
So,
5th place should be Casey Sutherland.
yep.
That's Casey's dad in the stands. Yeah. Let's see how close I was. I know I picked Casey Sutherland in my 30th in 2022 and 26th in 2023, so massively improved her time. Her PR on this course is 3:10.06. So big shout out to Casey Sutherland. Right now closing in on that 5th place. Anna Mae Flynn took 2nd here in 2017 and ran 2:43.14, so she's going to be a little bit behind that PR from 2017. Ellie Mack today finished in 2:45.36.
Speaking of Allie Mack, we have visual confirmation that Harley, her dog, is up at the top.
Oh, Harley's at the summit.
Harley has made it to the summit. The most important update of the day. Looking absolutely beautiful.
So some fun facts on Allie Mack. Her fastest time here was 2:33.42. And she ran the first year she won this in 2014. She also won again in 2021. Took 4th in 2022, 12th in 2023 in the Golden Trail World Series race. And this year she reclaims her title. So Allie Mack now is a 3-time champion of the Pike Peak Ascent, which is bananas.
This is Casey in 5th. Looking pretty strong. closing hard and passing some of the men as well.
We still don't have Kristen in. That's about right. 10 to 12 months. Yeah. That last mile.
What did they do last time?
That's it for the yeah, really, once you get one. Well, no, her average was 12. She did that 15, 17,
So I was just curious what the last mile looks like from a pacing standpoint. Allie did that mile in 17:26 pace. So to give you an idea of how hard that is, her first split was 6:21 pace.
So fast.
And then 7:57, 10:29, 11:47, 10:11, 10:23, 12:47, 16:24, 14:15, 17:26, and then 16:41 for the finish. So you're starting sub 7 and you're above 15 at the end with hands on the knees.
So wait, no cast, Kristen.
Oh no, we have.
Okay, we have our third place finisher.
Let's hear it for number 3.
Kristen Johnson in 3:01:22. Yeah. All right, now we're just waiting on Anime Flynn. It should be here any minute in that fourth position.
Again, any minute now, we should have Anime Flynn coming in for 4. So we went through Allie Max splits. We're gonna go through Joe Gray's to give some context of what it looked like. So, wow. His last mile was 13:22. That's incredible. His first split, first half mile was 5:30 pace. Then 6:38, 8:34, 9:29, 8:22, 8:30, 10:48, 12:06, 10:44, 13:29, and 12:43. That is wild.
So fast.
9:49 average.
Wow. So she was the one who was
still do not have the 4th place female.
We got it. So we have the video of Chris Sutherland.
I put that one.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Cool.
This is a video, taking a video. Nice. Stuck with just me now. And we have 4th place finisher officially in, Anime Flynn in 3:06:46. She will be very excited to have completed this in the top 5. And give those watching at home on YouTube a little view of what's going on in the field here. All you beautiful people. We got videos of video happening. She's coming in 5th. Yeah. Saw a good video of her finishing looking real strong. I learned it block by accident.
Did you announce it already? So just checking out some stats on our second place finisher, Miss Hallie Halfman. What an incredible athlete. She was not in our preview because she just kind of had signed up on herself, so we weren't tracking kind of her finish, but took 11th at the Ascent 2023, 6th place in the Bar Trail Mountain Race in 2023, 9th place at the U.S. Uphill Running Championships this year in 2024, and 4th place in the vertical kilometer at the Broken Arrow Sky Race. So it is not a surprise to see her in second place up here at the front.
We have some updates on the women's top 10. Casey Sutherland finished in 3:08.17 in 5th, and then 6 and 7 split by 3 seconds. Misha Miller and Amanda Kozlowski in 3:10.06 and 3:10.09. That must have been a fun one to watch. For 5, 6, and 7, officially finished. Yes, please.
So now we're at 8.
Cool. Thank you.
And we should have 8 through 10 coming in the next few minutes. Right now in 8th place is Sarah Billisnor, and 9th place is Maria Smead, and followed by Colorado Springs local, friend of the podcast, friend of mine, Miss Marty Skillard, absolute crusher. So big shout out to her. 10th place.
Closest is that way?
Porta potty's right here.
So some stats on our second place finisher, Helen Hoffman. She actually finished right outside the top 10 last year in 2:52.53, and this year takes the finish in 2:46.10. So improved on her PR overall by quite a few minutes. So big shout out to Helen Hoffman. All right, we've got Sarah Villasnor. Sorry if I mispronounced that last name. In at 8th place, gets the finish done in 3:13.40. So our 8th place female is through. Another fun fact, Miss Allie Mack took 20th place overall, which is just absolutely crazy. So what a performance by Allie. Pretty interesting developments happening in that 10th through 12th place position. We've got Marty Skillard, local Colorado Springs runner, and Julie Powell as well. So Marty is in 10th place, Julie is in 12th, only a few minutes back off Marty. They are sometimes frequent training partners, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, with them one trying to catch the other with only 1 mile to go to the summit. That's funny. I like forget that I'm on watch.
Yeah,
And I'll just like
picking,
pretend off.
picking your nose.
Yeah.
There's a guy over there. His name is Jack. He's a journalist. He'd love to talk to you about local connections.
Oh yeah.
More about the local athletes. You're more suited for that than I am. He's up another second. So what sort of updates have we had in the last 2 minutes here?
Not much. So we most had our 8th place finisher come through, Miss Sarah Villasnor. Sorry if I pronounced that last name wrong. Came through in about 3:13:40. So we've got just our 9th and 10th place females coming through pretty soon. Like I said, our 9th place female, Maria Smeed, followed pretty closely behind by 10th place Miss Marnie Sklar, with a projected finish time. I mean, that projected finish time is 3:13, but it really should be any time now. So we should get those females through pretty soon. Really no updates on the WhatsApp chat either, so I've slowed down since we've had our women's podium come through. I did give an update on our 2nd place female, Hallie Hoffman. It was just no surprise. Like, she was kind of a little overlooked in some of our preview episodes. A lot of times it happens if an athlete just goes and signs up on their own. So usually the way this will work for their, like normal results, they'll be like ultra sign up, right? Well, they don't use ultra sign up for this race, they use a run sign up. So they'll get a tag that says competitive or like what race they use as the qualifier, and it'll kind of give a projected time based on their finish, and that's kind of how we track it. So she kind of snuck under the radar, but really was an absolute crusher. 4th place at the Broken Arrow BK this year, top 10 of the U.S. mountain running uphill vertical champs, where she raced against Joe Gray and the likes of Jonathan Aziz and those guys up front. So really fun, follow along, but just an absolute crusher. So no surprise with her being up the front. And she also took 10th last year.
Hey guys, just give you a quick update on how the projected time works. It just takes their pace to that point and projects if they were to continue that pace to the finish, what they would finish. And so
That's never accurate. Yeah. Well,
Well,
with that kind of race,
yeah, because the last 3 miles they slow down a lot the last 3 miles, right? So that's why the projection is one thing we could do in the future is to just use like the last 2 checkpoints to get a better pace of how they're slowing down, or do a grade adjusted pace where if we see they're heading into a super steep part.
Do you work with Yeah. I know Phil well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Phil's our CEO.
Yep.
So
Cool, yeah, it's cool.
have you been on a podcast with Phil? Is that?
So I'm on the board of Boulders On, which he operates as well, and then yeah, we just chatted a lot about running.
Yeah. So
Cool. You guys have some national agreements now, right?
so you mean like timely?
Yeah.
Yeah, like well, we've been
Working on it.
we've got a few big like St. George Marathon. I mean that's still kind of local. Every women's marathon is a big one. Yeah, that we've won. We've won some Houston half stuff, not the Houston, but some bigger races stuff. We've won some 10-ish thousand person races in the last 3 months.
And he was just at American Running.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're I don't know, maybe a year or 2 away from doing some working out the technology and the kinks, getting it scaled up to where it can handle that. Yeah.
All right, guys, we've got our 9th and 10th place finishers through. Miss Maria Smeed finished in 3:17:30, and 10th place finisher, Colorado Springs crusher, friend of mine, Marty Scalard in 3:18:28. Big shout out to these ladies. Our top 10 women are through and finished.
Yeah. And it's getting crowded here down in the park.
Yeah, I feel like we can pod now. We can talk.
I might need some more coffee to talk.
Yeah, shout out to the coffee people over there. Much appreciated. I'm digging this North Face tent. I really like that tent over there.
Looks like a log cabin. It's cool.
it is neat. Yeah, big shout out to TNF. We saw some athletes here throughout the week. Saw Brittany Charbonneau walking around and some others. So it was
The funny runner.
What's that?
The funny
Funny
runner.
run. You know, it was really cool to see her, like, 'cause she's a trail athlete, but also, like, ran
roads.
Yeah, the what was it, the doping championship
Yeah.
or whatever in Disney World, which
Yeah.
was cool. Yeah, she's a crusher. She's cool.
She lives in Denver, I believe, right?
Yeah.
It's the chicken company. Is that what I see? What they do chicken? Cane like the red.
Yeah, that is cute. It's out there. Yeah, they chicken and water, I guess.
Chicken and water. Not vegan friendly.
Definitely, quite the opposite.
Yeah. Peter is racing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, man, dude, I found so bad.
Yeah, no.
He's such a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Want me to play a commercial?
Sure.
Yeah. It'll be 2 commercials.
Cool. This commercial break brought to you by
Designed in the Coast Mountains, Arc'teryx products are designed for the core mountain athlete, offering unrivaled performance at the point of extreme need. From storms to sunsets, we got you covered with the essential pieces to take you between seasons. Visit any one of our 4 retail stores in Colorado, including Castle Rock, Boulder, and 2 Denver stores located in the Rhino and Cherry Creek neighborhoods. Visit us online at arc'teryx.com.
Yeah.
and they'll come up and talk about their couples.
Looks like we've got.
The North Face believes in the power of community, the thrill of adventure, and pushing boundaries together. From local trails to the world's highest peaks, the North Face is committed to outfitting explorers everywhere. Gear up and keep your adventure going. Never stop exploring.
Looks like we've got some fans out here for Zachary Wells. I see your. Yeah, so Zach just passed the bottomless pit. Go, Zach, go. At about 10:20, so about 4 minutes ago, he crossed the bottomless pit. So he should be getting close to A-frame within the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Take a look. Can we look for an Alex Romero? This guy has not good.
All right, so we've got some fans out here for Mr. Alex Romero. Yeah, go Alex. Alex is 2 miles to go to the finish. He just clicked that at about 2 minutes ago, so 10:24. So figure another 20 to 30 minutes to the top.
Yeah, Jack. Shout out to Darcy the dog out there. Oh, very cute dog, Darcy. Darcy the black dog.
I know, I'm kind of impressed. My dogs are behaving. One's sleeping under the chair over there, the other one's in the shade, chilling. Shout out to Robbie and Luna.
Shout out to all the dogs out there.
Yeah, good dogs. Good dogs.
You got a Chiefs fan in the front.
I wonder if we are going to be doing.
At some point here shortly, we're going to hear from Hydra Talk a little bit more about the cupless aspect of this race and all the environmentally friendly initiatives that they're helping to bring to all races all across the country.
Shout out to the Sky Flask.
And the filter.
Thanks, guys, for
Yeah.
indulging Casey's
Of course,
stand.
of course.
Congratulations to Casey. It's just a cool story, those two broken backs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Man.
no,
You did
it's
a good
our
job.
pleasure. She had a great, absolutely amazing race.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool when parents get all hyped up for the race. Yeah, that was interesting raising tanks. What's the deal? It looks like water balloons.
Yeah.
What if they're filled with chainsaw? I've actually never been to this.
Chicken? Yeah. Just liquid chicken maybe. Yeah, it's fueling. You've heard of high carb, have you heard of high protein?
I feel like if I ever, like, after one day, I've like been really interested in like being a race director, it would be fun to have like a In-N-Out truck.
Yeah.
Lots of other storylines floating around there, top 10, top 15 people.
Back here for the marathon tomorrow?
Yeah. So I have to come back to like cheer him on. I gotta get on with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The weather's gonna be crappy. I don't know.
Yeah, tomorrow's pretty interesting. I mean, like, I've heard everything from Camp Smith. I don't know what information is producing, but like, he got some
Wow. So that's what somebody was saying.
I wouldn't be
And
surprised.
that bar.
Let's do turnaround parking lot, which then becomes a 14-mile race. Yeah, right? I do the same thing. I was like, give me a grip. I'll go race it.
Yeah, I want to get 14 miles. Maybe.
Yeah, there's your long run, right?
Yeah.
It's a good way to see the course, too. Very rough, super rough, super fast. But yeah, it could be that. Could be it. I personally want to see the full course just because I think it'll be fun to see. Well, I think the tactics change up front. Like you got like Jon who's a. Yeah, actually, yeah. It's actually, yeah.
So we were just having a chat about the race tomorrow and how the weather impacts it, and we're just gonna keep having this conversation
Yeah.
With the mics on.
Yeah, so we were talking about the tactics up front and how that's going to change the race in the front of the, like, basically change the front of the race. Especially on the, like, it's hard to tell what's going to happen on the women's side just because a lot of the women are very evenly matched. But on the men's side, you have a lot of different skill sets. Like, for instance, like Jon is a two-time Olympic marathoner, two-time Olympic qualifier, has ran the Olympic trials twice. Very speedy guy, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he deals with adversity in the snow because he will be up front. He's a two-time champion of this race as well, but he's going to be chased by some of the best in the world. You're talking like Darren Thomas, and one of the things I was talking about with Darren yesterday, I don't know if he wants me giving away any of the race plan, but here we are, is like
embargo.
Yeah, right. Like letting the guys in the front do a lot of the work, especially if there is deep snow, because you got to remember if you're breaking snow up front, you don't want to save yourself for the turnaround. So letting some people go. You're also going to have the likes of David Sinclair in the race. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that name, another one who's one of the best in the world, first man to go under 5 hours at the Speedgo 50K. He used to hold records at the Rut 50K and now holds the record at the Broken Arrow 46K. Or, like, hands down, one of the best in the world. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how those dynamics play up front and what there's going to be a lot more tactics used in that race as opposed to something in the Ascent where Ascent I feel like is a lot about running your own race, running your pace zones, taking advantage of the areas that you can exploit, whereas the marathon is going to have a lot of tactics.
How does the complete unknown of the forecast factor into that, right? Because they're saying anywhere between 6 and 21 inches up at the top, and 6 inches and 21 inches of snow is quite a different story in terms of what it does underfoot and the amount of fatigue that being at the front of that creates or doesn't create.
It's going to be tricky. I mean, if we're talking 21 inches, I would wonder like what even the call on that race is going to look like. But something in like something more of the 6 to 10 inch range, if we do have that level of snow, yeah, what is that going to feel like underfoot? Are you, and especially like what I think of as the athlete, like, all right, am I taking, what kind of shoes am I even bringing with me? Am I running Gore-Tex, you know, at the top to like, you know, keep my feet from getting like absolutely destroyed and cold? Something you're going to want something that's a little more grounded feel, that's going to have deeper lugs, especially for snow and how that's going to handle. It's not like you're going to be stopping to put on spikes. Like you're going for the top and then turning around and holding on for dear life at that point.
Yeah, the descent on snow would be interesting, particularly snow that's fresh and would have just been packed down pretty hard.
Yeah, so last year that was interesting too, because we had nowhere near 6 inches of snow at the top, but I mean we had a pretty solid dusting, enough to where it kind of covered some of the rocks. Remy was able to maybe get a little bit better footing, if you will. I actually am one of the believers that I feel like if we had no snow at that top last year, it's very possible you would have seen a course record go down under the 2 hour range. That's debatable. It's tough to say.
The other piece is the sock choice. You can't wear setting regular socks if there's a lot of snow up there. I'm a big fan of darn tough socks, and you can wander through water, you know, up to your knees and socks like that are good.
Yeah, you're gonna want to definitely choose something that's gonna be a little bit thicker, a little bit, because you don't want cold feet. No pun intended, but like, yeah. Cold feet,
Definitely don't want cold feet.
Yeah, I definitely want no cold feet. But yeah, it's gonna make the dynamic at the front very interesting. On the women's side of the race, it's gonna be really fun to follow along as well. You're gonna have 5th place returner Jennifer Yeaman, who we had yesterday on the elite panel, looking to make a name for herself and get on that podium. We're gonna have Chrissy Lofgren. Chrissy Lofgren's an absolute crusher as well. One of the training partners for Jennifer, and just took the win, I should say, this year at the Leadville heavy half. It was a heavy half or marathon? I think it was a heavy half.
So Mary Denholm took the marathon.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so she was a heavy half winner. And then you're looking at the likes of like Sarah Gould as well. Took 2nd place here at the marathon last year. 2nd place in the Bar Trail Mountain Race. Absolute pressure. So it's going to be very fast up front. Oh, and then someone in your neck of the woods, Flannery Davis Love. Another one where, you know, she might be better suited for something like this. She's very good at altitude. She just set a record on Long's Peak. The dynamics up front in the women's race are very hard to predict.
Flannery's also an Olympic trials qualifier in the marathon. She's run 2:36 high, and she's got an engine.
Yeah. Oh, like no doubt. So I would not be surprised at all to see her on the podium. Definitely in the top 5.
She's done some hundreds, and she's done some fast marathons, and that's a good combo.
Oh yeah, I just talked to her for the first time actually last week.
Meg Cook, who we had on the podcast, local Boulderite, had kind of told me, oh, you definitely need to have her on. And, you know, oh yeah, she's a boss.
Flannery's fascinating. I think she's a psychologist. And so I did a Breaking 5 in the mile project last summer, and we interviewed a couple of professional athletes, Jenny Simpson, Sarah Vaughn, and Flannery, not professional, but definitely a strong one. And Flannery was in the sub 5 heat with us, and she won the heat too, I believe. And yeah, just a quite crazy range to run 450 something in a mile and take an FKT on longs.
It's very rare. You don't see, like, for instance, like, no offense to Anton, but Anton's not running 4 something in a mile, but also
at altitude.
Right. And then, you know, like, it's just very interesting to me to see these types of athletes that can kind of do it all.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's got an insanely fast 10K time, and that translates well. Like, I've seen her this year show up to, like, Surf Series A Basin and have great performances there.
She's a great climber.
Great climber, and just really good at altitude. Like, kind of does it all.
Yeah.
So shout out to the North Face if you're looking for athletes that might be wanting to check out Flannery Davis Love.
Take a 2% cut.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be her agents.
She doesn't even know that we're negotiating on her behalf.
So yeah, no, the women's dynamic is going to be really fun tomorrow. I'm trying to think if I had even looked over any names. And the men's race is going to be crazy. Like, I'm excited for Darren Thomas as well. You know, Darren had him on the pod yesterday, and we just got to chat all about it. This is his 11th time. Like, he's been doing this race since he was like, I can't remember if it was 16 or 18 years old. Like, since he was very young.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Darren has quickly ascended. He's a Solomon athlete now. Quickly ascended the sport. Another one. It's so crazy how many times I'm saying, like, oh, arguably one of the best in the country.
A lot of hyperbole being thrown around.
We just have so many just like amazing athletes in this area.
There can only be one GOAT.
Oh, you want to talk about that? Who's your GOAT?
Who is my GOAT?
I talk about this every podcast. I ask because I'm so curious to see what people think.
So, I think Courtney solidified it on the women's side, and if we're talking like in the last, well, I guess that goes against the definition of GOAT. My history of the sport doesn't go back much beyond 2010, so I don't really have a good answer.
No, you're good. I think you gotta remember, like, the sport's very young. I mean, yes, there's been guys going all the way back into the 70s, and even in this race was started, I mean, you can argue in the 30s for the first time they went to Bar Trail, in the 1956, the first time they went to the top of the peak. But, like, this race has so much history there, and one of the greatest of all time, and, like, in my opinion, the ultimate competitor, Matt Carpenter, has had, you know, so many storied wins here, just such utter dominance. And has a dominance in other races too. The Leadville 100, his record finally went down this year. But Matt still has the marathon record here. So, yeah, there's it's a lot of nuance to it. I mean, you could make a genuine argument as well for Joseph Gray, who took the win this year, at the Pike Peak Ascent. This will be his 5th time getting the win. Not only is he on Mount Rushmore, he's also had, I don't know, more than 5, 10 national championships. I can't even count them at this point. And multiple world championships as well. And now that he's a master at over 40 years old, like, he's not even acting like a master. He's still beating these young whippersnappers. So yeah, it's exciting. And on the women's side, there's so many to talk about. And on the men's side too, you can't leave out Killian. I think that after this year's dominating win at Series and all, Killian Jornet is cemented himself as probably the greatest of all time. I don't think there's much of an argument there. I think Joe is up there on Mount Rushmore with guys like Matt Carpenter and others for the American votes. Matt Carpenter's an interesting conversation too, just because a lot of his dominance was not just was at the Pike Peak races, at other races across the board. He did a lot of like high altitude marathons. Like you said, he had one of the highest VO2 maxes ever recorded. Killian's right up there too. I think his VO2 was, I don't know, 90s, 96, something like that was recorded at one point.
Yeah, it was around 90, 91.
Yeah, I think Matt's at one point in time was like, in his day, 92, 93, was like the highest ever recorded.
That was recorded in Colorado.
Which is even crazier too, because if that was at sea level, you're talking
potentially 1 or 2 more points.
Yeah, wild. It's crazy to think. Like I like to specialize in a lot of these uphill races and do a lot of these up-down races where VO2 max really does play a strong role. And just to see some of these athletes even today, like Cam Smith, Ali Mack, I can't imagine what Ali's VO2 is. It's got to be through the roof.
Well, it's interesting when David was talking about what he needed to break the record at Leadville. He said, I need to be able to run sub 4 in the mile, 13-minute 5K, and run 100 miles at a 15-20 pace.
Which is so hard. Like, it's not even just so hard. Like, you're talking, not to come back to like world legend status, or not like world class status, but like amongst up there with someone that can compete against some of the greatest that there are. Like that 14-minute 5, I raced a bunch of 14-minute 5K guys this year at a lot of the circuit races, and like that speed gap, like I'm not slow by any means, but like I'm very good in the mountains, but just do not have that sub 14-minute 5K speed. I'm more like it's probably a low 17, high 16-minute 5K runner, and like it's very visible. Like, for instance, like Mason Kobe we had on earlier, like in the talk, he's a sub 14-minute guy, and just that speed is so hard to match.
Mary Denholm is another one to bring into the conversation, who two-time Olympic trials qualifier in the marathon in the 2:30s, and she went all in on trail running this year. And like I said, won the marathon, won the 50 mile, won the 100 mile, and was going for Ann Trayson's record for the majority of the day till she slowed down, around mile 75.
So crazy.
And her coach is Matt Daniels, and Matt said that she is going to be one of the best athletes in the world, if not already, but her fatigue resistance is unlike any woman he's ever seen. And so to be able to have that raw speed and that engine and pair that with, she's 37 or 38, but doesn't have a ton of miles on her legs. And we're seeing women having success into their 40s. Like, look at all these strong performances. And she's fresh as an ultra runner. And I'm excited to see what she can do as well.
Will definitely be one. I mean, I could see coming back and taking Ann Trayson's record. I think that's within the cards.
That was her first 100 miles.
If she so chooses to come back. Which I would imagine, now the lead woman champion, you gotta do. I look at things like this, when you're at the top of the sport, you have to defend titles.
She'll be back.
She'll definitely be back.
She runs so well at high altitude too. She spent a number of weeks in Buena Vista and in Leadville as well, leading up to the race, and just performs really well at high altitude.
I'd love to see her at something like a Western States. I mean, if you could, like, because I wouldn't say it's a very comparable course, because Western States is still a downhill, but it's a very runnable course.
But talking about fatigue resistance, like the ability to push hard on a net downhill course as well, with the first 3 miles being straight uphill.
On that topic of fatigue resistance, so one of the things I took away from David's win at Leadville, one of the little things he was doing was he'd go and do his normal runs or workouts or whatever he was doing in the day, and then come home and hop on
the treadmill.
On the uphill tread. I've been doing it, dude. I started like a week and a half ago.
But all you need is 10 minutes.
After he put the podcast out, and I was like, I don't think it's translated yet, but
a week later.
So I'm a fast adapter. But seriously though, I think that
take those ketones post-workout.
That's right. And dude, all the little nuances and all the things that he did, I think there's just so much little takeaway there. Now, I would recommend the amount of caffeine that he took. That would kill a human, much less an animal.
I did run through a few years ago, and I took 10, 12 caffeinated packets, and I spoke with Roxanne Vogel there, sports nutritionist, afterwards. She was like, yeah, it makes sense why you couldn't sleep afterwards. How many did you take? We don't suggest taking more than 10 caffeinated gels in a day. And so, not professional advice. Speaking of professional advice, we're going to hear from Jack from HydroPack. HydroPack is the sponsor of this race. They have been bringing cupless racing to races all across the country. What is cupless racing, you might ask? Well, we're going to talk about it. So we're gonna put Jack on the hot seat over here.
Come on over.
Jump in the middle here. So cupless racing is a bit of a misnomer because there are still cups, but it's just not trash that's created. So we're gonna display this for those watching at home on YouTube. Again, this is being broadcast on For the Long Run YouTube podcast. Like, rate, and review, and subscribe, and all that good stuff that I'm supposed to say. But yeah, Jack, thanks for taking a few minutes here. We're gonna talk through cupless racing and some of the cool stuff that HydroPack is doing. We don't need to have the screen in there anymore. Cool.
Sweet, that sounds good. Yeah, happy to be here.
So, what led to the idea of this? This is cupless racing, but it's still a cup.
It is still a cup. So the biggest thing for us, you know, there's so many different races across the world that, you know, they end up wasting a lot of cups at every single event. So you have, you know, maybe 5,000 runners, and each one of those runners are going through 20 to 30 cups, you know, throughout the course of a marathon. It's a lot of waste. You know, you're running by an aid station and tripping on cups, and there's water everywhere. So, you know, that was kind of Hydropack's way of doing our part and making sure that we're, you know, making it a more sustainable environment in the run world, and also trying to show that, you know, there is an alternative and there's another way to do it.
So when a race chooses to go cupless, what happens next? How do we benefit from that?
So one of the biggest things is education. So educating the runners. I think that you know, we like to encourage race directors not to abruptly just go cupless right away. It's sort of a transition for them. So we like just to educate runners and let them know what it looks like from start to finish and what to expect. You know, runners will typically hear about a cupless race and think that they're not getting any water on the course. And so a big part of that is just educating them and letting them know how that process looks. So here at Pike's Peak, you know, all of the runners are getting cups when they're getting their packet pickup. And runners have the option of carrying their own hydration systems and storage, which we encourage as well. But yeah, I mean, basically, you know, it's just educating runners and letting them know what things look like from start to finish, and just kind of turn them loose.
And so you could attach this to your pack. I think with a race like this, you're required to carry 12 ounces of 12-ounce vessel anyways, so you don't really need any disposable cups.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And it's certainly an adjustment for people. But yeah, I mean, this little loop that comes with it is actually meant to be a thumb loop. So you can grip it in your hands like this, and since it's fully collapsible, you just squeeze it and get to an aid station, and you can pop it open and they'll fill it up there for you. You know, people will put it in their bra strap, their pockets, really anywhere you can squish it. So, yeah,
Cool.
Very nifty.
Sweet.
So yeah, we made these for Pike's Peak. They're completely customizable, and it's if you don't use it, which we hope you do for multiple races, it's a fun little souvenir. It's like a mini trophy to carry around. So.
There we go. Jack, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Shout out to Hydropack.
Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna shout out that Sky Flask.
I want to shout out the filter.
Yeah, good stuff there. Good stuff.
My buddy is doing his first Ironman today, and his coach texted me and said, "Sai, if only he learned how to pee on himself. He's biking 17 to 18 miles an hour, but had to pee twice." Oh man, endurance sports are weird. That was caught on video.
Yeah, I love the UTMB live stream. They'll just hear the constant people just peeing in the woods.
I might shut this down.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, we're going to shut this down on the live stream.
Yeah, you can throw the commercials
We're
on.
going to shut this down on the live stream. Appreciate you guys following along, and we'll see you next time. Like and review and follow and all that fun stuff.
The Colorado Institute of Massage Therapy is calling you to action. Stress is widespread, and there aren't enough therapists to go around. With the massage industry